Good morning, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. We're looking at forgiveness and forgiving, and in particular, we've been looking at this and investigating this toward others and toward ourselves, and now we're looking at how our held in resentment and bitterness and disappointment with God is affecting our relationship. And I would call it subtly sabotaging our relationship with God with mistrust. And I would say, there's always symptoms of this that we can detect, and we can ask the Holy Spirit. I think that's one of the biggest things, is ask the Holy Spirit, and He will actually begin to unearth some of these things. It frequently is uncomfortable when we do it, but it is effective because the Lord doesn't want anything sabotaging your trust and your surrender and your connection with Him. And so, I want to challenge us this morning on looking at what I would call subtle stashes of long-held mistrust. Subtle stashes of long-held mistrust. And that is that maybe we have felt let down over and over and over again by the Lord, and that over time that has sort of chipped away at what we think is trust. And so we've settled for a very much diminished kind of level of trust in the Lord, because that we've just allowed our trust to be chipped away and chipped away and chipped away. So I remember when I was a younger believer, and I was just freshly out of high school, and I was going through a deep period of depression. And I was, I think I've said this to you before, I was suicidal at that point in time. When I look back on my journals, I was like plummeting. It was very bad. And I went to counselor and pastor and Bible teacher and counselor and pastor and Bible teacher and counselor and pastor and Bible teacher. And I kept praying and asking the Lord to lift this off, and it simply wouldn't lift off. And so much of the counsel that I got from really good people, I'm not saying any of these people were bozos, but I got, you just need to read the Bible more. You just need to pray more. And I'm asking God, I'm asking them, I'm not getting better. Asking God, asking them, not getting better. Asking God, asking them, not getting any better. And over time, this is just eroding my confidence and my trust in the Lord. And I'm like, are you even hearing me? Are you even there? And again, this is some of the things that the writers of the Psalms especially will voice these things to the Lord, and they will be honest with their feelings, and they'll get this stuff out in the open, and they will resolve it with God rather than just creating further and further and further distance with Him. And so that's what I want to ask you to think about this morning, is there a subtle stash of long-held mistrust? Have you been let down in your mind over and over and over again? Have you had a prayer request that went down, down, down? You kept on asking nothing, 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 nothing. And then over time, you just have gotten really upset with God, and you don't even know how to be upset with God. And God is saying, would you come to me with those? Be honest with me. Let it all hang out. Come to me and let's resolve this together. So this is all dealing with forgiveness, but forgiveness looking upward toward God, because you and I are wired in a certain way that we are integrated human beings. If we've got bitterness and resentment and hatred toward others, it affects our relationship with God. If we've got that toward God, it affects our relationship with others. It's crazy how integrated that we are, but God is challenging these things because He wants us to walk in freedom and trust, and out of mistrust and this kind of burden and resentment toward Him. So be honest with God today. And as the Holy Spirit brings these things up, work with God in resolving them, but be completely gut-wrenching honest. I love you. That's why we're talking about this. Thanks so much for joining me. God bless you.